Almost every Filipino has walked through an SM mall. They've shopped there, watched movies there, celebrated birthdays there, and spent countless weekends beneath its giant blue logo. But ask who quietly leads the empire behind it, and most people have no idea. Her name is Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson, the billionaire businesswoman who helped transform her father's small shoe store into one of Southeast Asia's largest business empires. In this video, we'll uncover the woman behind the malls and reveal why those famous shopping centers are only the beginning of her extraordinary story. The woman behind every SM mall. Most people assume Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson inherited one of the Philippines' biggest business empires. But empires aren't built overnight, and they certainly aren't sustained by inheritance alone. Long before she was leading boardroom meetings or making billion-dollar decisions, Tessie was learning lessons that would shape the rest of her life. Those lessons didn't begin inside a towering headquarters or a luxury office. They began in a business so small that few could have imagined it would one day reshape the Philippine economy. That business belonged to her father, Henry Sy Sr. Born in Xiamen, China in 1924, he arrived in the Philippines as a young boy to join his father, who ran a modest neighborhood store in Manila. Life changed dramatically during the Second World War when much of the family's business was destroyed, forcing them to begin again with very little. Rather than seeing defeat, Henry saw opportunity. In 1958, he opened a small shop on Carriedo Street that sold affordable imported shoes. He called it Shoe Mart. At the time, no one could have imagined that this tiny store would one day become the country's largest retail empire. For Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson, Shoe Mart was more than a family business. It was where she grew up. While other children spent weekends playing outside, Tessie spent countless hours watching customers walk through the doors, observing what they bought, how they made decisions, and why they came back. She saw her father checking displays, speaking with employees, and paying close attention to even the smallest details. Without realizing it, she was receiving an education that no business school could ever offer. As the years passed, Shoe Mart grew beyond footwear. Clothing, home essentials, appliances, and countless other products filled its shelves. Every successful expansion brought another lesson. Henry Sy believed that customers should find everything they needed in one place, at prices they could afford. It was a simple idea, but one that would eventually reshape retail across the Philippines. Tessie watched those decisions unfold from the inside, learning that lasting businesses weren't built through shortcuts or headlines, but through consistency, patience, and an almost relentless focus on serving customers. When she officially joined the company, Tessie didn't step into a ceremonial position. She worked across different parts of the business, learning merchandising, operations, finance, and management from the ground up. Those who worked alongside her often described her as disciplined, analytical, and remarkably hands-on. Unlike many business heirs who embraced public attention, Tessie preferred conference rooms to television studios and board meetings to magazine covers. While the public celebrated the growing SM name, she quietly concentrated on making the business stronger with every passing year. Then came the idea that would change the Philippines forever. Henry Sy envisioned something far larger than a department store, a place where shopping, dining, entertainment, and daily life could exist under one roof. It was an ambitious concept, and many questioned whether Filipinos would embrace it. Tessie, however, believed in the vision. Working alongside her father and the rest of the family, she helped transform that bold idea into reality, laying the foundation for what would become one of Asia's largest mall networks. Today, those familiar blue buildings dominate city skylines from Metro Manila to Mindanao, welcoming millions of visitors every day. But here's the surprising part. As enormous as the malls appear, they represent only the most visible piece of the Sy family's empire. Hidden behind every SM mall is a much bigger business, one that quietly generates even greater wealth than the shopping centers themselves. And that's where our story takes an unexpected turn. 2. The mall empire that changed the Philippines. By the time the first SM mall opened its doors, Henry Sy and Tessie Sy-Coson were no longer thinking like store owners. They were thinking like city builders. Most people walk into an SM mall to buy groceries, catch a movie, or enjoy a meal with the family. few stopped to realize that every hallway, restaurant, cinema, and department store was carefully designed to keep people coming back. But what made the empire truly extraordinary wasn't its size. It was the way it quietly changed how millions of Filipinos lived, shopped, and spent their weekends. The transformation began in 1985 with the opening of SM City North EDSA. At the time, it was unlike anything most Filipinos had seen. Instead of visiting separate shops scattered across the city, families could spend an entire day in one destination. They could shop for clothes, eat at restaurants, watch the latest films, pay bills, buy groceries, and even attend special events without leaving the building. It wasn't just a mall, it was an experience, and people loved it. That success became the blueprint. One mall became several. Then several became dozens. As the Philippine economy expanded, so did SM. New malls appeared in Metro Manila before reaching Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, Pampanga, Baguio, Cagayan de Oro, Bacolod, and many other cities. Wherever a new SM mall opened, businesses followed. Roads improved, transport routes expanded, nearby property values often increased, and entire communities began growing around these massive developments. The malls didn't simply adapt to cities, they helped reshape them. But Tessie Sy-Coson understood something even more important. A successful mall couldn't rely on shopping alone. It had to become part of people's everyday lives. That's why SM malls gradually evolved into complete lifestyle destinations. Inside were supermarkets, department stores, international fashion brands, food courts, cafes, cinemas, banks, fitness centers, government service offices, churches, convention spaces, and family entertainment areas. Whether someone came to buy a pair of shoes or renew a government document, there was always another reason to stay a little longer. Then came some of the country's most iconic developments. SM Mega Mall became one of the largest shopping centers in the Philippines, attracting millions of visitors every year. SM Mall of Asia pushed the vision even further, transforming Manila Bay into one of the nation's busiest commercial and entertainment districts. With its waterfront location, convention center, arena, hotels, and countless retail outlets, it became far more than a shopping center. It became a destination known not only across the Philippines but throughout Asia. As the empire expanded, one thing about Tessie never changed. While new malls made headlines, she rarely did. She remained focused on long-term growth instead of public recognition, quietly helping steer the company through changing consumer habits, economic downturns, and rapid urban development. Under her leadership, SM continued expanding while maintaining the customer-first philosophy her father had established decades earlier. Today, the familiar blue SM logo has become one of the most recognized brands in the country. For millions of Filipinos, it's a place where childhood memories were made, families gathered, and milestones were celebrated. Yet for all their size and influence, the malls have also created one of the biggest misconceptions about the Sy Empire. Most people believe the malls are where the family's fortune comes from. They aren't. The shopping centers everyone sees are only the front door to an even larger financial empire, one that stretches far beyond retail, reaches into banking, real estate, and some of the country's most valuable businesses. And once you see what's hidden behind those famous blue buildings, you'll understand why Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson became one of the most powerful businesswomen in Asia. 3. The empire hidden behind the malls. For decades, millions of Filipinos have believed the SM malls are the Sy family's greatest asset. It's an easy assumption to make. The malls are everywhere. They dominate city skylines, welcome millions of visitors every week, and generate billions of pesos in sales each year. But here's the surprise. The malls were never meant to stand alone. From the very beginning, they were designed to support something much bigger. And once you see how the pieces fit together, you'll understand why Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson's influence extends far beyond retail. Take a closer look at what happens during a typical visit to an SM mall. A family arrives and parks in an SM-owned parking facility. They shop at an SM department store, buy groceries from an SM supermarket, enjoy lunch at one of the restaurants, watch a movie, and perhaps purchase a new phone or household appliance. Before heading home, they stop at a bank branch to withdraw cash or pay a bill. To most shoppers, these feel like separate businesses. In reality, many of them are connected through the same corporate ecosystem that Tessie has helped oversee for decades. Perhaps the biggest surprise of all is banking. While shoppers recognize the SM logo instantly, far fewer realize the Sy family also built one of the Philippines' largest banking institutions. Through BDO Unibank, the group expanded far beyond shopping centers and into the country's financial system. Today, millions of Filipinos use BDO for savings accounts, home loans, business financing, investments, and digital banking. Every day, enormous sums of money move through an institution connected to the same family that built the malls. It is a level of influence that many visitors never associate with the familiar blue buildings outside. That ecosystem becomes even more impressive when you look at how an ordinary day can touch several parts of the SM group without people even noticing. A young professional might live in an SM-developed condominium, grab breakfast at an SM mall before work, use a BDO account to pay bills, meet clients in an office tower developed by SM Prime, and end the day shopping at the same mall. A small business owner could finance expansion through BDO while opening a store inside an SM shopping center, benefiting from the millions of customers who pass through its doors each year. None of these businesses operate in isolation. They are designed to reinforce one another, creating a self-sustaining network that continues generating opportunities long after a new mall officially opens. It's this carefully connected system that has helped make the Sy Empire one of the strongest and most resilient business groups in Southeast Asia. But the empire doesn't stop with banking. Through SM Prime Holdings, the group became one of Southeast Asia's largest property developers. Shopping malls may be its most visible projects, yet surrounding many of them are office towers, hotels, convention centers, residential condominiums, and mixed-use developments that continue generating income long after the ribbon-cutting ceremonies are over. What appears to be a single shopping center is often the centerpiece of an entire commercial district. This strategy became one of the family's greatest strengths. Instead of simply building malls and waiting for customers to arrive, the group invested in the communities around them. As new businesses opened nearby and more people moved into surrounding residential developments, demand for shopping, banking, dining, and entertainment naturally increased. Each part of the business strengthened the others, creating a cycle that was difficult for competitors to match. It wasn't just expansion, it was an ecosystem. Tessie Sy-Coson played a key role in maintaining that long-term vision. Rather than chasing rapid growth for its own sake, she consistently focused on stability, disciplined investment, and careful expansion. That approach helped the company navigate financial crises, changing consumer behavior, and unexpected economic challenges while continuing to grow across the Philippines and beyond. It also reinforced the culture her father had established. Build patiently, think decades ahead, and never lose sight of the customer. Today, the Sy Group's interests extend into retail, banking, real estate, hotels, logistics, and numerous other investments that touch the daily lives of millions of Filipinos, often without them realizing it. The mall may be where the journey begins, but it is only one gateway into an empire that reaches almost every corner of the country's economy. And yet, perhaps the most remarkable part of this story isn't the billions of pesos, the towering skyscrapers, or the endless stream of shoppers walking through SM's doors. It's the woman who helped guide this vast empire while remaining almost invisible to the public. Unlike many of the world's richest business leaders, Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson has never built her reputation on celebrity or constant media attention. That quiet approach may be the greatest secret behind the empire's lasting success, and at the end, we'll uncover why. 4. The billionaire who never needed the spotlight. In an age where many billionaires announce every investment, dominate social media, and regularly appear on magazine covers, Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson chose a completely different path. She rarely grants interviews, seldom seeks public attention, and has spent decades letting the business speak for itself. Yet behind closed boardroom doors, she has become one of the most influential business leaders in the Philippines, helping guide an empire that reaches into the lives of millions every single day. That quiet leadership became even more important after the passing of Henry C. Sr. in 2019. For most family businesses, the death of a legendary founder marks the beginning of uncertainty. Investors begin asking difficult questions. Competitors look for weaknesses. Employees wonder whether the next generation can protect everything that has been built. But at SM, there was no dramatic power struggle or sudden change in direction. Instead, the transition reflected something the Sy family had been preparing for over many years. Long before Henry Sy stepped away, Tessie and her siblings had already taken on key leadership roles across the group's many companies, ensuring the business would continue operating with the same long-term vision. As vice chairperson of SM Investments Corporation and chairperson of BDO Unibank, Tessie's responsibilities extend far beyond approving new malls. Her decisions influence one of the country's largest banks, one of its biggest property developers, and one of its most valuable conglomerates. Every major investment, expansion plan, and long-term strategy must consider not only today's profits but also where the Philippines will be decades from now. It is a level of responsibility that few business leaders anywhere in Asia carry. Despite overseeing businesses worth billions of dollars, Tessie has remained remarkably consistent in her philosophy. Those who have worked with her often describe her as practical, disciplined, and intensely focused on execution rather than recognition. She has repeatedly emphasized that businesses succeed by earning customers' trust over many years, not through short-term excitement. That mindset can be seen across the SM Group, where expansion has generally been measured, strategic, and built around long-term demand rather than rapid speculation. The results speak for themselves. Today, SM Investments stands among the Philippines' most valuable publicly listed companies. Its businesses serve millions of customers, employ tens of thousands of people, and continue expanding into new opportunities as the country's economy grows. International publications, including Forbes, have consistently ranked the Sy family among the wealthiest in the Philippines, while Tessie herself is widely regarded as the country's most powerful businesswoman. Yet, unlike many global billionaires, she remains a figure most shoppers would never recognize if she walked past them inside an SM mall. Perhaps that's the greatest irony of all. Every weekend, families gather beneath the familiar blue SM logo. Children race toward the cinemas. Friends meet over coffee. Couples celebrate milestones. Entrepreneurs open new stores. Millions of ordinary moments unfold inside buildings that have become woven into everyday Filipino life. Most people see them simply as places to shop. Few realize they are walking through the visible face of a business empire carefully shaped by one woman who has spent a lifetime avoiding the spotlight. And maybe that's exactly how Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson prefers it. While others built personal brands, she built institutions. While others chased headlines, she focused on lasting value. The malls introduced her empire to the public, but they never defined it. Hidden behind those familiar blue buildings is a legacy measured not only in billions of dollars, but in decades of patient leadership, careful decisions, and a vision that continues to shape the Philippine economy. One mall, one bank, and one generation at a time. 5. The dynasty that will outlive them all. Most billion-dollar businesses don't disappear because they stop making money. They disappear because they fail to survive the next generation. History is filled with family empires that collapsed after their founders stepped aside, undone by poor planning, family disputes, or leaders who couldn't carry the same vision forward. For the Sy family, that was never a risk they were willing to take. Long before Henry Sy Sr. passed away, the family was already preparing for the day when the empire would have to stand on its own. That preparation became one of the greatest decisions Henry C. ever made. Rather than placing the future of the company in the hands of one person, leadership responsibilities were gradually shared among members of the second generation. Each took on major roles across the group's different businesses, creating a structure where experience, rather than personality, guided decision-making. Tessie Sy-Coson emerged as one of the family's most influential leaders, but she was never leading alone. The strength of the Sy empire came from a system designed to keep the business moving regardless of who occupied the corner office. That same philosophy can be seen across the SM Group today. The malls continue to expand. New residential communities rise beside commercial centers. Office towers welcome thousands of workers every morning. Hotels receive visitors from around the world. BDO continues serving millions of customers through its nationwide branch network and digital platforms. While each business appears to operate independently, they form part of a carefully connected ecosystem that has been refined over decades. It is this structure, not any single building, that has become the family's greatest asset. The Sy family's influence also extends beyond business. Through the SM Foundation, the group has funded scholarships for thousands of students, built school buildings and health centers, supported medical missions, and responded to communities affected by natural disasters. During times of crisis, many SM malls have also served as relief distribution points and temporary community hubs. These efforts reflect a belief that long-term success is measured not only by financial performance but also by the impact a company has on the people it serves. Today, the numbers speak for themselves. SM Investments remains one of the Philippines' largest and most valuable conglomerates, with interests spanning retail, banking, real estate, and portfolio investments. The Sy family continues to rank among the wealthiest in the country, while Tessie Sy-Coson is widely regarded as its most powerful businesswoman. Yet despite those achievements, she has remained remarkably consistent. She rarely seeks attention, preferring to let the company's performance tell its own story. Perhaps that's why so many people know the SM name, but not the woman behind it. Every day, millions of Filipinos pass beneath the familiar blue logo without realizing they're witnessing the legacy of decades of careful planning, disciplined leadership, and quiet ambition. What began as a modest shoe store on Correado Street has grown into an empire that touches nearly every part of modern Filipino life. Not by chance, but through decisions made patiently over generations. And maybe that's the most remarkable revelation of all. The richest woman behind the Philippines' biggest mall empire never needed to become its public face. While the malls became landmarks, the banks became financial giants, and the properties reshaped entire cities. Teresita, Tessie Sy-Coson, remained exactly where she was most comfortable, far from the spotlight, quietly ensuring that the empire would continue growing long after the headlines had faded. In the end, that may be her greatest achievement, not simply helping build one of Southeast Asia's largest business empires, but building one designed to outlive everyone who created it. What do you think is the greatest part of the SM empire? The malls, the banks, or the real estate empire hidden behind it all? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Teresita Tessie Sy-Coson, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to her status, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next story about the world's most powerful fortunes, hidden empires, and the people quietly shaping them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.